The old man knew he would be murdered before sunrise. That was why he invited all his enemies to sleep in his house. By morning, he was dead in a locked room. The key was in his pocket. The windows were bolted from inside, and every person in the house had a reason to kill him. The man in the locked room. Part 1. The invitation. Pa Adisa Alade was the richest man in Orita Mefa, but nobody in the village called him blessed. They called him powerful. There was a difference. A blessed man was loved. A powerful man was feared. Pa Adisa had chosen fear a long time ago, and fear had served him well. It kept tenants quiet when he increased rent. It kept farmers begging when he took back lands. It kept his children respectful, even when their respect had turned into hatred. So, when he sent invitations to 6 people and asked them to sleep in his house on the same night, everyone knew something was wrong. The message was short. Come before sunset. I will speak once. After tonight, nobody will say I did not give them a chance. There was no greeting, no explanation, only his name at bottom. Adisa Alade. By evening, 6 people arrived. The first son, Dele, came with red eyes and empty pockets. His daughter, Maureen Keji, came with a Bible in her handbag and bitterness in her mouth. His young wife, Shade, came from the inner room, already living in the house, but invited like a stranger. His late brother's son, Femi, came with dust on his slippers and anger in his chest. The family lawyer, Mr. Banjo, came carrying a brown envelope. And lastly, Nurse Bisi came from the health center, the only person in the village who still entered Pa Adisa's room without fear. They all sat down in the large parlor while the rain gathered outside. Pa Adisa entered after sunset. He was tall, thin, and old in a stubborn way. His walking stick struck the floor before every step. His left hand held his chest as if his heart was an enemy living inside him. Nobody greeted him warmly. He noticed. He smiled. I know what all of you want, he said. No one answered. You want me dead. The room became still. Outside, thunder rolled across the sky. Pa Adisa sat down slowly. But I will not die like a fool, he continued. Before morning, I will change my will. Some of you will lose everything. One of you will gain what you do not deserve, and one of you stopped. His eyes moved from face to face. One of you has already started planning my death. Shade lowered her eyes. Dele eased quietly. Morenike grabbed her Bible. Femi looked away. Nurse Bisi stood near the door, but pale. Mr. Banjo adjusted his glasses. Pa Adisa smiled again. Good. At least now we are honest. That night, nobody left the house. By morning, Pa Adisa was dead, and his room was locked from the inside. Part 2. The room. Inspector Clara Dairo arrived before the villagers finished gathering. She was not from Orita Mefa, but the village knew her name. Years before, she had solved the case of a missing bride in Ijebu-Igbo, the case of the poisoned twins in Elisha, and the case of the pastor who buried 3 secrets under the church altar. She was not dramatic. She did not shout. She did not threaten suspects. She listened. That was what made people afraid of her. The rain had stopped when she entered Paradisa compound. The ground was soft. The air smelled of wet leaves, kerosene and fear. The house was large but old. Its walls were painted cream, though the rain had washed the color into sadness. The windows had iron bars. The front door was wide open. People stood everywhere whispering. Clara ignored the crowd. Who found him? She asked. Nobody spoke. Then Nosbisi stepped forward. I did. Clara looked at her. You were in the house? Yes. With the others? Yes. What time? After 6 in the morning. I came to give him his medicine. Was the door opened? No. Locked. From inside? Yes. How do you know? The key was not outside, and when we broke the door, we found it in his pocket. Clara said nothing. She followed Nosbisi down the corridor. The door to Padisa room had already been forced open. The wood around the lock was broken. Inside, the room was neat, too neat. The bed stood by the wall. Beside it was a small table with a glass cup, a bottle of water, a medicine tin, and a brass bell. A large wardrobe faced the window. The window bolts were fixed from inside. The curtains were half drawn. Paradisa lay on the floor near the bed. He wore white nightclothes. His eyes were opened. His mouth were slightly parted. One hand rested on his chest. The other hand was curled, as if he had tried to hold something before death took him. Clara bent close. There was no blood, no wound, no sign of struggle. But his face was wrong, not peaceful, surprised. Did he suffer from any illness? Clara asked. Asthma, Nurse BC replied, and high blood pressure. Where is his inhaler? Nurse BC pointed to the small table. Clara picked it up carefully with her handkerchief. Who gave him this? I did, Nurse BC said. But it is his own. I only check his medicine. Clara looked at the inhaler, then asked the dead man. Who entered this room last night? No one, Nurse BC said quickly. He sent everyone away after dinner. He locked himself inside. Clara turned. Are you sure? Yes. Clara looked around again. A locked room. A dead man. A house full of enemies. It looked impossible. But Clara did not believe in impossible things. She believed in hidden doors, hidden ants, and hidden aids. Chapter 3. 6 Enemies. Clara questioned them one after the other in the dining room. She began with Dele. He was Paradisa's first son, but he looked like a man life had been chewing for years. His clothes were expensive but not fresh. His shoes were polished, but the soles were weak. You needed money, Clara said. Dele laughed without joy. Who does not need money? You needed your father's money. It was my father. That is not an answer. Dele leaned back. He had money. I am his son. Is that a crime? No, Clara said. But death can make a man impatient. His smile died. Who told you I have debt? You just did. Dele looked away. Clara wrote nothing down. This was one of her habits. She noticed how people behaved when they thought their words had disappeared. Next was Morenike. She was Paradisa's only daughter, married to a pastor in another town. She spoke softly, but her softness had edges. My father was a wicked man, she said. Wicked enough to kill? Morenike looked at Clara directly. I have prayed for his soul many times, but I did not send him there. You were angry with him? Yes. Why? He refused to help my husband's church project after promising publicly. He embarrassed us. He called my husband a beggar in front of elders. And last night, he said he would remove me from the will because I married a man who turned God into business. Those were his words. You hated him. Morenike's eyes filled, but no tears fell. I pitied him. Hatred is too much energy. Clara watched her hands. They were steady. Then came Femi. He was not a son, but he carried the bitterness of one. His father, Paradisa's younger brother, had died years before. The villagers said Paradisa took over the family's land after the burial and left Femi's mother with nothing. You believed he stole from your family, Clara said. I don't believe, I know. Did you confront him? Many times. And last night, Femi's jaw tightened. He told me if I knelt down and begged, he might give me 2 plots from the land that belonged to my own father. What did you do? I left the table. Angry? Of course angry, but anger is not murder. Clara almost smiled. In my work, it often is. Femi said nothing after that. Then she called Shadi. The young widow entered quietly. She was not much older than 30. Her wrapper was black, but her blouse was pale blue. Her face had the tired beauty of a woman who had learned to disappear while standing in plain sight. You were his wife, Clara said. She nodded. How long? 6 years. Happy years? Shadi looked down. In this house, happiness was not a thing we measured. Did he treat you badly? Shadi smiled faintly. Inspector, in Orita Meta, when a young woman marries an old rich man, nobody asks if she's happy. They only ask what she is eating. Were you eating well? The smile vanished. I was surviving. Clara allowed the silence to stretch. Then Shadi added, he was going to send me away. When? This morning. He said after changing his will, I will live with nothing. So his death saved you? Shadi lifted her eyes. No, his death trapped me. Clara understood that answer more than she expected. Mr. Banjo, the lawyer, came next. He was neat, careful and uncomfortable. He kept touching the brown envelope he had bought. You came to change the will, Clara asked. Yes. Did he sign anything? No. He said he would do it in the morning. What was inside the envelope? A draft. Who benefited? Mr. Banjo hesitated. Clara leaned forward. A man is dead. This is not the time for professional drama. He swallowed. The new will removed Dele, Morenike, and Shadi almost completely. And Femi was to receive the family farmland. Clara raised an eyebrow. Interesting. That is not all, Mr. Banjo said. Clara waited. The largest part of the estate was going to someone else. Who? Mr. Banjo looked towards the corridor, where Nurse Bisi stood near the wall. Nurse Bisi. For the first time that morning, the room truly felt silent. Part 4. Nurse Bisi. Nurse Bisi did not look shocked when Clara called her back. That interested Clara. Some innocent people feared suspicion. Others expected it because life had taught them that innocence did not protect anybody. Nurse Bisi looked like the second kind. You were going to inherit most of Padisa's property, Clara said. So I heard. You did not know? He told me last week. I told him not to do it. Why? Because people will talk. People are doing more than talking now. Nurse Bisi smiled sadly. Yes. Why would he leave so much to you? Nurse Bisi looked towards the window. Because he owed my mother. The answer came too fast to be invented, but too heavy to be simple. Clara waited. My mother worked in this house before I was born, Nurse Bisi said. She died poor. Padisa said he failed her. I did not ask what he meant. Did you believe him? No. Why not? Because men like him do not wake up old and suddenly become clean. They only become afraid. Afraid of what? Nurse Bisi looked back at Clara. Death. Clara studied her. You managed his medicine. Yes. You had access to his inhaler. Yes. You found the body. Yes. And you were about to inherit his estate. Nurse Bisi's expression did not change. Yes. You understand how that looks? I understand exactly how it was designed to look. That was the first sentence that truly caught Clara. Designed? Not happened. Designed? Part 5. The bell that did not ring. Clara returned to the dead man's room after questioning them. She stood there for a long time without touching anything. A locked room was not about doors. It was about habit. How did the dead man live? What did he reach for? What did he fear? What did he trust? What did he do when alone? On the bedside table sat the brass bell. Clara picked it up and shook it gently. It rang clearly. Did he use this often? She asked Nurse Bisi, who stood behind her. Yes, too often. If water was too far, he rang. If his pillow shifted, he rang. If he wanted to insult someone, he rang first. But last night, nobody heard it. No. Not even when he was dying. No. Clara placed the bell down. That was strange. A man with asthma, alone in the room, feeling death approach, did not ring the bell. Either death came too quickly, or he did not know he was dying, or the bell had been placed there after death. Clara examined the table. Water bottle, glass cup, medicine tin, inhaler. Chapter 6. Dinner. The last dinner became important. They had eaten pounded yam and egusi soup in the dining room. Padisa ate little. He accused everyone of greed. Lily shouted. Morenike cried. Femi walked out. Shade served water. Nurse Bisi reminded Padisa to take his evening medicine. Mr. Banjo sat quietly, watching the family break itself open. That was the story they all gave. But story told by many people are never the same. Dele said Shade took Padisa's cup away before others finished eating. Shade said Dele was drunk, though he claimed he had not touched alcohol. Morenike said Nurse Bisi whispered something to Padisa that made him angry. Nurse Bisi said she only told him not to skip his medicine. Femi said Mr. Banjo and Padisa argued privately near the corridor. Mr. Banjo said Femi was lying. Everyone had a truth. Everyone had a reason to shape it. Clara listened until evening. Then she asked one simple question. Who saw Pa Adisa alive last? The answer should have been easy. It was not. Shade said she took warm water to his room around 10. Nurse Bisi said she checked on him at 10:30. Mr. Banjo said he had Pa Adisa coughing around 11. Dele said he had his father talking to someone after midnight. They made every turn. Someone, Clara asked. Dele rubbed his face. I was half asleep. Male or female? I don't know. What did you hear? His voice, he said. You should have left this matter buried. The room changed. Not loudly, but Clara felt it. A small tightening, a shared fear. Buried, Clara repeated. No one explained. That meant the word mattered. Part 7. The buried matter. Every village has two histories. The one people tell visitors and the one they bury. Clara found the buried one before sunset. Not from the family, from the gateman. His name was Babaraji. He had worked for Pa Adisa for 28 years, and he had the face of a man who had seen too much and choosing survival over honesty. At first, he claimed he knew nothing. Clara did not argue. She only sat beside him under the orange tree and waited. Old men often fear questions. They feared silence more. After some minutes, he spoke. It was Bisi's mother. Clara turned slightly. What about her? She worked here. Beautiful woman. Quiet. Her name was Tinu. And Pa Adisa. Raji looked away. He liked beautiful things that did not belong to him. Clara's face hardened. Did Bisi know? I don't know. What happened to Tinu? She became pregnant. Then she disappeared. Disappeared? They said she ran away. You don't believe that? Babaraji's mouth trembled. I was the one who opened the back gate that night. Clara said nothing. She was crying, he continued. She carried a small bag. Pa Adisa followed her. They argued near the old well. The well? At the back of the compound. It has been covered for years. What happened? I heard the scream. He closed his eyes. When I came out, Pa Adisa was alone. Clara felt the evening grow colder, and the woman, gone. Did you tell anyone? He laughed bitterly. In this village? Against Pa Adisa? Who else knew? Taraji hesitated. Madam Alade, his first wife. She was alive then. Dele and Morenike's mother? Yes. But she is dead. Yes. Who else knew? Maybe Mr. Banjo. He was young then, but he was already working with Pa Adisa. Clara stood. The locked room had opened a little. Not physically, morally. Part 8. The Old Well. The old well was behind the compound, covered with broken cement and dry leaves. Clara stood over it with Babaraji, Femi and two village men. The air there felt different, as if even the trees had learned not to grow too close. It took an hour to break the covering. By then, half the village had gathered at a distance. When the smell rose, no one spoke. They found bones, small pieces of clothes, and a rusted bangle. Nurse Bisi was not there when they brought the remains out. Clara had asked that she should not be called yet. Some truths should not be thrown at a person in public. But Morenikeji saw the bangle and began to cry. Clara turned to her. You knew? Morenikeji covered her mouth. I was a child. You knew? I saw my mother with that bangle. She kept it hidden. She said one day, sin would smell, even under the stone. Did your father know she kept it? No. Who did she tell? Morenike looked towards the house. Pastor? Lawyer? Whoever would listen. Nobody helped her. And Nurse Bisi? Morenike shook her head. She was a baby. They sent her away to her grandmother after her mother disappeared. Clara understood why Adisa wanted to leave the property to Bisi. Not kindness, fear. The old man often called it repentance when punishment finally came close. Part 9. A new shape. By night, Clara had a stronger motive for Nurse Bisi. Her mother had been murdered. Her inheritance was not generosity, it was guilt money. She had access to medicine. She found the body. Everything pointed to her, too neatly. Clara did not like neat guilt. Real guilt was messy. It sweated. It forgot details. It defended itself too early or too late. Nurse Bisi had done none of those things. She had not begged. She had not over-explained. She had simply stood inside suspicion like someone who had expected rain. Clara went again to Paddy's room. This time, she took the inhaler. She smelt it. Nothing obvious. She pressed it once into the handkerchief and waited. A faint sharp scent rose. Not medicine. Something else. Something used on farms. Pesticide. So that was how he died. Not by force. Not by poison in the food. He had inhaled death. The asthma attack came. He reached for the relief. The inhaler had delivered poison into his lungs. It was cruel. It was intimate. It required access. But access did not mean guilt. Clara looked at the medicine tin. Inside were tablets, cotton wool, and a small menthol balm, and a folded paper. The paper was blank. No, not blank. There was a faint stain on it, like oil from fingers. Clara held it near the lamp. Three words appeared lightly, pressed into the paper from something once written above it. Ask the nurse. Clara stared at it. It was a message. But from who? Clara stared at it. It was a message. But from whom? Pa Adisa? The killer? Or someone trying to guide her? She placed the paper back. Then she noticed the dust on the medicine tin. A clean half-moon shaped mark on the lid. Something had rested there recently. Something round. Not the inhaler. Not the glass. A bottle. A small bottle. Someone had removed it before the room was searched. Part 10. The woman who cried too late. At dawn, the village prepared for a second tragedy. Nurse Bisi had disappeared. For 1 hour, everyone believed she had run away. Dele said it loudly. I told you, she killed him. Morenike whispered prayers. Shade sat quietly, looking more frightened than relieved. Clara did not join the noise. A guilty person may run. But so may a frightened, innocent person who knows the village has already chosen her. They found Nurse Bisi near the old well. She had not run. She had gone to sit where her mother had been hidden. Her white uniform was stained with wet soil. Her face was empty. When Clara approached, Bisi did not look up. Did you know? Clara asked gently. No. About your mother? No. Did you kill him? Bisi turned then. Her eyes were red, but her voice was steady. I wanted to. It was the first honest confession Clara had in the house. When I found out last night, I wanted to enter his room and kill him again, even though he was already dead. How did you find out? Bisi looked at her hands. He told me yesterday evening, before dinner. He said he had sinned against my mother. He said he would repair it. With land? With money. Bisi said bitterly, as if money can climb into a well and bring back bones. Did you touch his inhaler? Yes. Clara became still. When? Yesterday afternoon. I checked all his medicine as usual. Was anything strange? Bisi frowned. The inhaler was not on the table. Where was it? In his drawer. Was that unusual? Yes. You always kept it near him. Who had been in the room before you? Bisi looked away. Shade cleaned the room. There it was again. Shade. Always near. Always quiet. Always possible. Chapter 11. Shade. Clara found Shade in the kitchen. She was washing a cup that was already clean. That too was a kind of confession, not murder or fear. You cleaned Paradisa's room yesterday? Clara asked. Shade nodded. Did you touch his inhaler? No. Think carefully. I did not touch it. Did you see it? Shade stopped washing. No. That is not the same answer. Shade closed her eyes briefly. I saw the drawer open. Who opened it? I don't know. You are lying. The cup slipped from Shade's hand and broke into the basin. For a moment, she looked like a child who has broken something more important than glass. Then she whispered, I saw Dilly. Clara waited. He was inside Baba's room in the afternoon. He did not know I saw him. He was searching the drawer. For money? I thought so. Why did you not say this? Shade looked at her with tired anger. Because in this house, when poor women speak, rich men call it insult. Clara accepted that, but she did not accept everything. What else did you see? Charlie swallowed. It took something small. I could not see what. A bottle? Maybe. Did he touch the inhaler? I don't know. Clara left the kitchen with Dele's name drawing heavier. Part 12. Dele's death. Dele denied it badly. That was the first problem. A good liar built a small lie around the truth. Dele threw lies everywhere and hoped one would block the road. I never entered his room. Shade saw you. She ate me. The drawer was open. Maybe Baba opened it. Something was taken. Nothing was taken. What was in the bottle, Dele? His face changed, only for a second, but Clara saw it. What bottle? He asked. The one you removed. He laughed. You people want to hang me because my father was wicked. No, Clara said. I want to know why a man who needed money entered his father's room hours before that father died. Dele's anger broke. Yes, I entered. I was looking for cash. And the bottle? He rubbed his forehead. I took it. What was inside? I don't know. You stole something without knowing what it was? I thought it was expensive medicine. I planned to sell it at the chemist if I could. Where is it? He hesitated. Clara leaned forward. Where is it? I threw it away. Where? Behind the goat's pen. They found it there. A small brown bottle. Empty. Label partly torn. But one word remained. Paraquat. Palm poison. The case seems to close around Dele. Death, theft, poison, opportunity. But again, Clara felt the neatness. Why would Dele steal the poison and throw away the bottle so close to the house? Why would he leave the inhaler behind? Why would he deny entering the room if Shadi had seen him? Unless he had stolen the bottle before the murder. Or someone wanted them to find it after. Clara held the bottle up to the light. There was a fingerprint in the dust. Not clear enough for science, but clear enough for thought. The finger was small, too small for Dele. Part 13. The prayer room. Morenike kept a small prayer room at the end of the guest corridor. Clara found it by accident, or rather, she found it because Morenike wanted her to. The door was open. The Bible lay on the mat. Beside it was a white candle, a bottle of anointing oil, and a folded cloth. Clara did not believe every door open was innocence. She stepped in. The room smelled of oil and old smoke. On the floor, near the mat, was a tiny blue thread. Clara picked it up. Shade's blouse was pale blue, but so was the wrapper Morenike had worn the night before. Clara checked the anointing oil. It was in a small brown bottle, the same size as the pesticide bottle. Interesting. Morenike appeared at the door. Inspector, you pray often? Yes. For your father? For myself. Did you enter his room yesterday? No. Did you own a brown bottle? Morenike lips tightened. Many people own bottles. That is not an answer. She stepped into the room. My father destroyed my mother. He destroyed Tinu. He destroyed many people. If you are asking whether I cried when he died, I did not. Did you kill him? No. Did you want him dead? Morenike looked at the Bible. I wanted God to judge him. And if God delayed, looked back at Clara. Then maybe someone helped God remember. For the first time, Clara saw real danger in her. Not loud danger, righteous danger. The kind that could poison a man and call it cleansing. Part 14. The lawyer's envelope. Mr. Banjo tried to leave by afternoon. Clara stopped him at the gate. Going somewhere? I have duties. Open your bag. He protested. Of course, educated men often use grammar as a friend. Clara waited until he finished building it, then knocked it down. Inside the bag was a brown envelope. Inside the envelope was the draft bill, but there was another paper. Older, yellowed, signed by Paradisa. Clara read it once, then again. It was not a will. It was a transfer deed. Years ago, Paradisa had transferred part of the disputed family land to Mr. Banjo secretly. The same land Femi believed belonged to his father. Clara looked at him. So you were not just his lawyer. Mr. Banjo's face had lost color. It was legal. Many wicked things were legal. He gave it to me. For silence, Mr. Banjo did not answer. Clara understood. He had known about Tinu. He had known about the well. He had been paid in land. Paradisa was going to expose you, Clara said. No. Yes, that was why he invited everyone. That was why he brought you. He wanted to confess without confessing. He wanted to punish all of you and still look like a generous old man. Mr. Banjo wiped sweat from his upper lips. I did not kill him. But you had reason. So did everyone. That was true. And that was the most honest thing he had said. Part 15. Femi's anger. Femi did not hide his hatred. That made Clara expecting more. Hidden hatred was more useful to killers. Open hatred made too much noise. Still, hatred could kill. You were going to gain land from the new will, Clara said. So why would I kill him before he signed it? Maybe you did not know. I knew. How? He smiled without warmth. Mr. Banjo drinks when he is nervous. He told me last week. That explains something, but not enough. You left dinner early. Yes. Where did you go? To the backyard. The old well? He looked at her sharply. You knew about it? No. I knew my father did not run mad for nothing. Before he died, he kept saying Adisa buried more than the land. I thought it was madness. And now? I know madness sometimes tell the truth. Did you enter Paradisa's room? No. Did you touch his medicine? No. Can anyone confirm where you were at midnight? No. Clara sighed. You are not helping yourself. I did not come here to help myself. I came to see if wickedness can grow old and still sleep well. And could it? Femi's face hardened. No, it was already afraid. Part 16. The second death that almost happened. The case changed that night. Not because someone died, but because someone nearly did. Shade collapsed in the corridor. She was found gasping, one hand at her throat, the other gripping the wall. Nurse Bisi rushed to her, with a medical instinct stronger than suspicion. Clara watched as Bisi checked her pulse, opened her mouth, smelled her breath. Poison, Bisi said. The house erupted. Shade, Clara bent beside Shade. What did she eat? Nobody knew. Then Clara saw the cup. A small enamel cup lay near the corridor. Inside was a little tea. Shade whispered, I did not drink it. Then what happened? I smelled it. Clara looked at Bisi. Bisi's face changed. Paraquat fumes, she said, if concentrated. She did not finish. Clara understood. Someone had tried to silence Shade. Why? Because Shade had seen Daly in the room? Or because Shade had seen someone else? Clara looked at the cup. It had not been meant to kill quickly. It had been meant to frighten, to warn. The murderer was still working, and that meant Clara was close. Part 17. What Shade saw. Shade recovered near midnight. Clara sat beside her bed until she opened her eyes. You saw more than Daly, Clara said softly. Shade turned her face away. Someone tried to kill you tonight. Silence is no longer protecting you. Tears ran quietly into Shade's hand. I saw Morenike, she whispered. Clara did not move. When? After Dele left Baba's room, I went in to clean. The drawer was opened. The inhaler was on the bed. I did not touch it. Then I heard someone coming, so I hid behind the curtain. Morenike entered. Morenike entered? Yes. What did she do? She knelt beside the bed. She was crying. She took the inhaler and held it for a long time. Did she spray anything into it? I could not see clearly. What else? She said. She said, Mama, today he will answer. Then she left. Clara absorbed this. Morenike had motive. She had righteous anger. She had a brown bottle. She had touched the inhaler. It was almost enough. Almost. What happened after she left? Shade closed her eyes. Baba came in. Pa Adisa? Yes, I was still hiding. He did not see me. He picked the inhaler, looked at it, and laughed. Laughed? Yes. What did he say? Shade's voice dropped. He said, so it has started. Clara felt the room tightened around her. Pa Adisa knew. Not guessed. Knew. What did he do then? He put the inhaler back on the table. Then he opened the medicine tin and removed something. What? I don't know. A bottle? No, a paper. Clara remembered the indented words. Ask the nurse. Adisa had left a clue. But why would a dying man leave a clue pointing to an innocent person? Unless it was not pointing to guilt. Unless it was pointing to the truth. Ask the nurse. Not because she killed him, but because she could explain what others could not. Part 18. Clara understands. Clara did not sleep. By morning, the pieces had stopped floating. They had begun to arrange themselves. The inhaler had been poisoned, but not once, twice. That was the trick. Dele had stolen the pesticide from the drawer, perhaps for money, perhaps thinking it was something valuable, but the poison had already been used. Morenike had entered later and touched the inhaler. Maybe he had planned to kill him. Maybe she had only cursed him, but Pa Adisa saw enough to know someone wished him dead. Shade saw both of them and kept quiet. Mr. Banjo had old guilt and new fear. Femi had motive but no access. Nurse Bisi had access and inheritance, but her innocence was so carefully exposed. And Pa Adisa, he knew someone had tampered with his inhaler, yet he kept it. Why? Because Pa Adisa was not only a victim, he was still controlling the room after death. Clara went back to the first fact. The body had been placed. But if it had been placed by the killer, what if Pa Adisa, after inhaling the poison, had tried to stand, failed, and fallen near the bed? No, his body was still arranged. Someone entered after death, but the room was locked from inside. So how? The key was in his pocket. But who said the key had always been there? Nurse Bisi found the body. Others broke the door. In the confusion, any hand could place a key in a pocket. But the door had been forced inward. If truly it had been locked, there was another way. Clara looked again at the brass bell. A bell a dying man did not ring. Why? Because it was not there when he died. Someone had brought it back after. Someone who entered the room before it was locked. For the final time. Someone the old man would willingly allow in. Not Nospisi, not Dele, not Morenikeji, not Femi, not Mr. Banjo. Someone who had always moved through the house without being counted. Clara stood still. Then she sent for Babaraji. The man at the gate. Part 19. Babaraji came slowly. He looked smaller in daylight. Baba, Clara said, how long have you kept Paradisa's secret? His mouth trembled. Too long. You opened the gate for Tinu the night she died. Yes. You heard her scream. Yes. You did nothing. Tears gathered in his eyes. I was afraid. I know. He nodded as if that made it worse. Last night, you also did nothing, Clara said. He looked up. What do you mean? You heard something? No. You heard the bell. His face changed. Only slightly, but enough. Clara continued. You heard Pa Adisa ring his bell after midnight. You went to him. He was alive then. Paraji shook his head. No. He trusted you because you had served him for 28 years. He opened the door. No. You entered. No. You saw him struggling. Babaraji began to cry. I did not kill him. Clara's voice softened. I know. He froze. I know you did not poison the healer, she said, but you entered the room after he inhaled the poison. Babaraji covered his face. He was on the floor. He whispered. He was holding his chest. He said, called Bisi. And did you? No. Why? Babaraji wept harder. Because I saw Tinu. I saw her face. I saw that night again. He was begging me with the same mouth he used to tell me to keep quiet. I stood there. And watched him. The room was silent. What did you do after he died? Clara asked. I was afraid they would say I killed him, so I put the bell back on the table. I locked the door with his key. Then, you put the key in his pocket? Yes. How did you lock the door? From the inside first. Then I left through the small bathroom door. Clara's eyes narrowed. Bathroom door? He nodded weakly. It opens to the store passage. Only family knew before. Later, Baba blocked the passage with a wardrobe from the store side. But the bathroom door still opens. A thin person can pass. I remember a large wardrobe facing the window. The impossible room was never impossible. It had only been protected by a secret passage no one mentioned. Who else knew? She asked. Babaraji stated. Then whispered. Shade. Part 20. The gathering. Clara gathered everyone in the parlor before noon. It was the same room Adisa had accused them of. Now his portrait watched from the wall, smiling like a man who still expected obedience. Dele sat with his arm folded. Morenike held a Bible. Femi stood near the window. Mr. Banjo looked sick. Nurse Bisi sat apart, her face quiet with grief. Shade sat in the corner, pale but steady. Babaraji stood by the door, like a man waiting for judgment. Clara began. Pa Adisa Alade was killed by poison placed in his inhaler. The killer did not need to attack him. The killer only needed to know that when his chest tightened, he would reach for the one thing he trusted. No one spoke. Dele entered the room and stole the pesticide bottle. That made him look guilty, but he stole it after the inhaler had already been poisoned. Dele's mouth opened, then closed. Morenike entered later. She touched the inhaler. She may have thought of killing him. She may have even prayed for his death while holding the weapon, but she did not put the poison there. Morenike's eyes filled with shame. Mr. Banjo had motive. Femi had motive. Nospisi had access. Shade had knowledge. Babaraji had opportunity. After the fact, Clara turned slowly. But the mother was someone who understood three things. Paradisa's illness, the arrangement of his room, and the secret passage. The room went cold. The murderer also knew how to make suspicion move from one person to another. First to Nurse Bisi, because of the will, then to Dele, because of the bottle, then to Morenike, because of the prayer room, then to Babaraji, because of the locked door. Clara looked at Shade, and finally, to silence. Shade did not move. Clara's voice became gentle. You poisoned the inhaler before dinner. Shade closed her eyes. Dele stood. No, he said. Shade, you cleaned the room. You had access before anyone else. You knew the old bathroom passage because as his wife, you knew the parts of the house no visitor knew. You saw Dele enter, so you let suspicion fall on him. You saw Morenike enter, so you kept that too. When Shade the frightened widow spoke, everyone believed her because she had suffered. Shade opened her eyes. They were no longer weak. They were calm. Too calm. You cannot prove it, she said. Clara nodded. I can. Shade's face tightened. The poison was not only in the inhaler, Clara said. It was also on the clothes you used to wipe your hand. You hid it in the bathroom passage. Clara said nothing. Clara turned to Babaraji. Bring it. The old man stepped forward and placed a pale blue cloth on the table. Shade stared at it. For the first time, fear entered her face. Clara continued. The blue thread in Morenike's prayer room did not come from Morenike's wrapper. It came from this cloth. You planted it there after trying to frighten yourself with the poison tea. I did not poison myself, Shadi whispered. No, you only made it look as if someone tried to silence you. You smelled enough to collapse, not even to die. You needed us to believe you were the next victim. Shadi laughed softly. It was not madness, it was exhaustion. You are clever, she said. No, Clara replied. You were, until you tried too hard. Part 21. Shade's Truth. For a long moment, nobody moved. Then Shade stood. She did not run. She did not cry. She only looked at Pa Adisa's portrait. You people think I killed him because of money, she said. Nobody answered. He brought me from my family with bride price and promises. I was 24. He was already old. Everyone said I was lucky. Lucky to marry a man who could feed me. Lucky to live in a big house. Lucky to wear gold. She touched her neck. There was no necklace there. You know what he called me? His voice remained soft. Property. Morenike lowered her head. Shade continued. I could endure insults. I could endure loneliness. I could endure being watched like a thief in my own room. But then I heard him tell Mr. Banjo he would send me away with nothing. Nothing. 6 years of my life. And he would throw me out like a spoiled food. Clara watched her carefully. That was when you decided? Shade smiled sadly. No. She turned to Nurse Bisi. I decided when I found out about your mother. Bisi stared at her. I was cleaning his drawer, Shade said. I saw old letters. Chinu's name. Your grandmother's name. Money sent every year. Not love. Payment. Quiet money. Bisi lips parted. Shade's voice shook now. He killed your mother. He was going to become a saint by giving you land. Everyone would praise him. They would say Pa Adisa repented. They would call him generous. She pointed at the portrait. He did not deserve repentance. He deserved fear. Clara said quietly. So you became what he feared. Shade looked at her. Yes. And Baba Raji, I did not know you would enter. I thought Pa Adisa would die alone. Baba Raji covered his face again. Shade looked at him with pity. You watched him die. The old man nodded. Shade whispered. Good. The words entered the room like a blade. Nurse Bisi stood suddenly. You had no right, she said. Shade turned. I know. You used my mother's death. Yes. You made me look guilty. Yes. Why? Shade's face broke then, but still she did not cry. Because in this house, innocent people are always useful to the guilty. I learned from your father. Bisi slapped her. No one stopped it. Shade accepted it. Then she said, I am sorry. Bisi's voice trembled. Sorry does not climb into a well either. For the first time, Shade had no answer. Part 22. The closed door. They took Shade away before evening. The village followed in silence, not because they had nothing to say, but because the truth had made speech difficult. Pa Adisa was dead. Chinu's bone had been found. Baba Raji has confessed to hiding the final moments. Mr. Banjo's secret land deal was exposed. Dele's theft was known. Morenike's almost sin had come into light. Nurse Bisi buried her mother 3 days later. Not as a single woman, not as a gossip, as a person. That mattered. Clara stayed until the burial ended. Afterwards, she returned once more to Pa Adisa's room. The door had been repaired. The window remained bolted. The bed had been stripped. The brass bell was gone. A room could look innocent after Ibu left it, but Clara knew better. Rooms remembered. As she turned to leave, Nurse Bisi stood at the doorway. Inspector, Clara stopped. Will people say Shade was wicked? Bisi asked. Yes. Was she? Clara looked into the empty room. She committed murder. That is not what I asked. Clara was silent for a while. Then she said, pain can explain a crime. It cannot wash it clean. Bisi nodded slowly. Outside, the evening sun touched the old well. For the first time, it was open. Not as a hiding place, as evidence, as memory, as warning. Clara left Orita Meta before nightfall. Behind her, the village remained, but it was no longer quiet in the same way. This time, the silence was not protecting Pa Adisa. It was burying him properly.
Send me the location.